Today guys, we are on summer fruits and coffee. It tastes like absolute cake. The reason I'm drinking this is to kind of sharpen myself up, get myself going, because it's snowing outside, it's freezing in here. And what we're talking about is a subject or a topic that is, for some people, kind of like a fragile, sensitive topic to talk about. Before we go any further, what I want to do is just start with a few formalities or disclaimers. First and foremost, you know obviously what the video is about, so I don't really need to go into that. I just want to say that I know plenty of fat people. I know plenty of people that are categorically obese. To those people, I hope we can still be friends after this. This is by no means an attack on people that are overweight, obese, fat, whatever you want to call themselves. Number two then, to Danitza, who I'm sort of building this video around. She's like the case study to this video. If you're watching this, Danitza, again, I hope you're not offended by what I'm saying. I just kind of want to give you my opinion on what you're posting. I'd love you to maybe even do the same for my content, because I know it's crap. But I hope even with Danitza or people that are from the same sort of community or group as her, maybe we can open up a dialogue, because one thing I'd love to do would be able to sit down with someone from this community. I think that'd be very, very interesting. And then thirdly, just to anyone watching this, fat, skinny, black, white, tall, orange, red, whatever you are, listen to it with open ears, because I've tried listening to a couple of these videos and sometimes I go in with my own thoughts, my own opinions, and I don't, voluntarily listen. I kind of have selective listening with people that I listen to that I don't like, or I don't like the message they're conveying. So to anyone that's in the opposing camp to what I'm suggesting here, just have a listen, let me know what you think, and yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. This is my critical analysis on Danitza's Instagram / YouTube / social media platforms. Let's start with what I know about Danitza. I know slim to nothing. I've never met the girl in my life, and so I feel like one of these reviews it's obsolete because I just don't know the person behind the camera. All I know is the YouTube and the Instagram personality that I have watched. Now on Instagram, Danitza's tag, I'll put it there. She posts content very, very regularly. I've been ghost following her, I won't lie about that. I've been ghost following her for a few months now, and I disagree with a lot of her messages, and I find a lot of her posts somewhat cringy, and that's why I have been ghost following her, or following her without actually clicking that little follow icon button. And yeah, I've gotten to know a lot of what her Instagram's about. I've watched a number of her YouTube videos, and I've got to give her content 1 star. In the interest of timekeeping and being able to, I suppose, choose my words carefully, I'm going to break this video down into 3 reasons as to why I don't follow Danitza. And the 3 reasons are as follows. Reason number 1, I think Danitza is in denial. Reason number 2, I find her very, very self-righteous. And reason number 3, the nudity that she posts on a regular basis. I think that Danitza and quite a few people in the body positivity community are in denial about the concerns that grow with obesity. Obesity, in case you don't know, is a leading health risk. It is a big, big killer, and a lot of people in the body positivity community don't seem to want to know that. When you tell people this, or at least when Danitza's been told this, she's often coined people, I suppose, noting her of these concerns, that they're basically just showing fake concerns for her health. So basically, this is how the timeline goes. Danitza posts a video. Danitza gets a DM from someone saying,
"Oh, by the way, maybe you should lose a few because people all over the world die because they are overweight."
Next to that, Danitza will then put up a story or a video saying that people are showing fake health concerns, and yeah, the cycle just continues. I think to ignore those huge concerns, or those death tallies, contributed to, or attributed to rather, being overweight, I think to neglect those stats, or just to, shy away from them, it's being sort of a pussy. In terms of denying the idea that obesity is god-awful, a lot of them will go to this idea that health is multifaceted, which I agree it is. 100% couldn't agree more with that statement, that health is this very, very broad sort of umbrella term, which a lot of things fall beneath. With health, you've got to obviously include your physical fitness, your physical appearance, if you will. As well as that, you've got your social health, your mental health, and it's not just about having washboard abs. It's not about having an hourglass figure. It's about having social relationships. It's about being sane up there. And with that, obviously, I think the World Health Organization states obviously the absence of disease or infirmity. So it's a very, very broad topic, and to be perfectly healthy, very, very difficult to do. You're always juggling with health, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of things to consider. Now, what Danica does point out is that people have different forms of self-care. Some people will prioritise their social health, their psychological health, before addressing maybe their physiological states or their physical states. And that's one thing that it's so true. And I think in terms of medicating yourself or self-helping, it is best to find out what works for you. But to neglect the physical side or the fitness side of things is just, I think it's a little bit stupid. From like a biological standpoint, you could be healthy as hell up here, psychologically mint, but to put on excessive amount of weight and say, oh, don't worry guys, I've got a great social life, what you've got to recognise is obviously there's health implications that you're going to incur as a result of eating too much or not exercising enough. So yeah, on that note, Danica seems very, very much against this idea of accepting, or at least noting, or, you know, appreciating the health implications that comes with, you know, being overweight, oversized, plus sized, fat, whatever you want to say. Segueing from that then, one thing that I despise, and it's not just Danica that says this, again, she's the case study, so we're going to use her, but one phrase that's used a lot, and one phrase that I cannot stand.
We're going to dance. We're going to dance.
We live in a fat-phobic society. Being fat in our society is worse than being a bad person.
A phobia, just in case you don't know, is an irrational fear, so a fear that you can't really, you know, say why you're scared of whatever your phobia is of. So to be fat phobic is to suggest that basically you're scared of fat people for no good reason, or you're scared of becoming fat for no good reason. For me, I'm not scared of fat people. Fat people usually look happier, they usually look younger. But back to the point, in terms of phobia, I am scared of becoming fat because I don't want to die at 42 years of age. I don't want to, you know, struggle to run after children if I'm lucky enough to have them. I don't really want to have to make people feel uncomfortable on public transport. I don't want to have to wake up in the middle of the night to, like, I suppose appease my insatiable appetite. I just don't want to be fat because I know that fat is characterised by laziness, gluttony, and just, again, a lack of self-respect. So that is why I am scared of becoming fat. It's certainly not a phobia. And to suggest that people are fat phobic, I don't know. I think that, I'm sure there are people that are legitimately scared of fat people for no apparent reason, but for most people that have like an education, certainly within the UK or the developed world, they'll be scared of becoming fat for very, very good reasons based on sociology as well as that biology. With that point then comes this idea that fat people are marginalised, and again, with regards to being marginalised, some people definitely within the community are marginalised because of the characteristics that we associate with being overweight, fat, obese. And that's why I think fat people don't get maybe as, you know, as many opportunities as those that have more, I don't know, in-demand bodies. And again, that sounds awful, but please hear me out. If we look at modelling, for example, there's this new splinter group of plus-size models. That's great. It's great that they're getting a go or a turn, but that's come from like a lot of complaining, I think. For me, I'm 5'10", 5'11" if the sun's out. 6 foot is what I told a lot of girls on Tinder is the height that I am, or I allegedly was. With that, I do not complain and say to Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Calvin Klein, whoever else, I don't go up to modelling recruits and say, listen, I know I'm like 4 inches shorter than, you know, your minimal requirements, but could you please just give me a go? Could you give the guy a break? Because I'd just be slapped in the face and turned away. And I accept that. People want tall models with nice washboard abs, look like they take care of themselves, the Colgate smile, the hair with a little bit but not too much product, and that's just the way. I would draw parallels between fat people getting the opportunity to model to people with poor oral hygiene, let's say smokers.
Almost lit my damn hair on fire.
So let's say you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and you don't brush your teeth, and then you demand that you take part in a Colgate commercial. If you pitch that idea to someone in Colgate, Oral-B, whatever toothbrush or toothpaste brand you use, if you pitch that idea to them, they would just laugh at you with their perfect smiles and tell you to get the fuck out, because it is daft. It is such a perverse idea. Like, this person doesn't brush their teeth. Why don't we put them in a teeth campaign in which we're trying to sell our toothpaste? It doesn't make sense. And now overweight people will say, but no, our thing's different because there are fat people all across the world, and, you know, we've got to sell clothes, we've got to sell our merchandise to these fat people. I get that, but there's also people all across the world with awful oral hygiene. There's some people with, you know, 2 teeth in a set. There's some people that have brown stained teeth, but you still don't see them in Oral-B commercials because it is a lack of self-respect to have teeth like that. It wouldn't probably sell as much, and it's just stupid.
We're going to dance. We're going to dance.
I fucking hate people that look down on others. I actually despise that, and I'm sure a lot of people will say, oh, but haven't you done that for the past few minutes? I actually have. But with regards to Danitza, what she does is she has her idea of what body positivity is, and if yours is in any way different to hers, it's a big fuck you, get out.
People who do think this video is targeted at them, that's your own issue. If you think this video is targeted at you, you must be doing something wrong.
What I find interesting about how stern she is on what body positivity is the fact that I thought anyway, at least it was a very, very inclusive group, and she is almost, well, she's at least driven me away from body positivity. I've got a very, very sour taste in my mouth, not meaning to sound dramatic, but she's almost put me off the idea of it. So it almost seems like her body positivity is very, very exclusive. It's almost as if you have to be fat now in order to join the body positivity movement, and if you do have a privileged body, which is something she mentions all the fucking time, if you have a privileged body in which you're, I think the criteria list is white, blonde hair, blue eyes, hourglass figure, big butt, big tits. If you fall into that category, if you hit any of those markers, you can't be part of the community.
Iskra couldn't be further from body positivity if she tried. She's an extremely privileged model who has a body that's incredibly in trend right now.
And if you do want to call it a privilege, it's a first world privilege, and you're in, again, if we go back to point one, you're in denial if you think that, you know, not dropping a few pounds is unobtainable. That's a lie you're telling yourself. The idea of privilege, obviously, again, there's tiers of privilege, there's tiers of, you know, problems. And the way people talk about first world problems or real problems, she's basically done that with the word privilege. Being toned, athletically built, or not fat is not a privilege, that's a choice. Being fat is not a disprivilege, or it's not as if you've been dealt a bad hand. You're just probably, and I say probably because I know there's anomalies in the population in which they have thyroid conditions, they can't exercise, blah blah blah, but if you're fat, that's kind of up to you. It's a choice.
Here at Globo Gym, we understand that ugliness and fatness are genetic disorders, much like baldness or necrophilia, and it's only your fault if you don't hate yourself enough to do something about it.
Moving swiftly on then to point number 3, and this is our final point, so I'll make it very, very quick. It's nudity.
We're going to dance. We're going to dance.
Nudity on Instagram, it's very, very common. It sells, you get likes, you get hits, and certainly in terms of like health, fitness, lifestyle world, you'll see a lot of girls posing in bikinis, doing butt poses, and that's because guys double tap that stuff extremely fast, and yeah, it gets a lot of traffic. And Danitza knows that, I'm sure she does, because all she ever fucking posts, it's just, ugh. Anyone, and I don't care what height, weight, build, age you are, anyone that, you know, twerks in lingerie on Instagram, on a public page, you just need to have a long, hard look at yourself. The porn industry is booming. We don't need any more of this nonsense, and I just think that, ugh. I've posted photos in my boxers before, holding like my little loofah, getting ready to get into the showers, because I thought, oh, I look sort of muscular there. And rightly so, I was slated for it in work. I was slated for it by people that go to the same gym as me. I was slated for it by people that just follow me on Instagram and don't know me. And you know what? I'll take an L there. There's no need to post that photo. It did look really fucking weird. Yeah, the nudity, it just, it needs to go. It needs to stop. Anyway, I'm just going to stop it there because I know this has probably offended a few people already. And again, that was never the intent. I just thought it was about time that I shared my feelings about Danitza. And to Danitza, if you are watching this and you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Again, I'd love to sit down and talk, you know, with you, to you, about your beliefs and the body positivity community. And hopefully this could open up a dialogue. We just never will know until I hit the upload button and you hopefully watch. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone that's made it this far. And until next time, think about exercise, think about your social health, your mental health, think about the loved ones around you, and yeah, all in all, stay clinical and take care.